Hi there, Andre here from Peak Motorcycles. This is a really short follow-up video to the one I did the other day. So the other day I actually showed you how I fitted the Enduristan Blizzard XL panniers to my Honda CRF300L Rally. When I put those on, I actually had the rack installed. Now what I've actually fitted now is the Rally Pack. So this was the bolt-on piece which I didn't show in that other video. The reason I've installed it now is that I've just installed the tail tidy, for which you see this other video. However, while the plastics were off and everything was dismantled, I thought that was a good opportunity to put the Rally Pack on. As you can see, it's a lot tidier. It doesn't have the weight from the rack there. So I think it's actually quite a nice solution just to have a small bag on the back of the bike with minimal fuss. It is very difficult to take off in that you need to take the seat off, all 4 bolts that will remove the rear plastics, take that off and then unbolt it, and then probably get some covers just to cover over the holes if it's not in use. But nevertheless, I plan to leave it on the bike. I'm going to ride like this tomorrow and I'll let you know how it goes. So here's my video on how to install it. Okay, there we go, and those hooks just come off. And so do the bags. There we go, so that is the rear plastic off. So for those of you who watched my tail tidy video will have known that I had to remove the tail plastics off the bike in order to disconnect the number plate light so I could refit the tail tidy. While it's off, for those of you who saw my Enduristan video, I have this Enduristan Rally Pack, and what this has is actually 4 holes in the underneath which actually need holes drilling in the plastics. Now on the video itself I didn't bother because I was short on time and I thought I could do that another day because it involved removing the rack and the plastics. Given that it's currently off, before I refit it as part of the other video, I'm going to mark the holes on here, I'm going to drill the holes, and I'm actually going to fit it and I'm going to put it back together like this, and then I'm going to put the panniers back on it so you can see how it fits with the panniers without the rack. What we're looking at is we have 2 holes here which are on a 9cm spacing and 2 here that are on a 7cm spacing. So before I fit it, I guess it's just a matter of working out exactly where I want it to be. I don't really mind if it covers the warning thing. I'm never going to have more than 4.5 kilos in here, even if I fill it just full of metal. But I think it's having it far enough forward where it's not overstretching the edges of the bike, which I think will be kind of about there. I think that will bring the front edge right up to the back of the seat. What I'm going to do is just mark that as being 5 centimeters from the front. 5 centimeters is kind of about there. And to pick the midpoint between the two sides of here, that's about 12.5, which would actually put the center point at 6 1/4. 10.75 is my first hole, 1.75, which would be there. So I'll just check that those are 9 centimeters apart, and they are. So that's those 2 holes, and then the next 2 need to be 12 centimeters back from there. Brings me to there, and then on this end I'm looking for 7 centimeters between them for 1.5 and 8.5, and hopefully the gap between those will be 7, which it is. Right then, I'm just going to go and grab the drill, and then I'm going to put my 4 holes into the tailpiece. Okay, so now I'm just going to drill these holes with a 6mm drill bit. I always wince when I'm drilling body work, but here we go. Check I'm still on for my 7 centimeters center to center. Yep. Yep, that's all good. Just 2 more. Okay, always hurts me to drill into a new piece of bodywork, but I'll get some plugs to cover them up for when I'm using the rack. But yeah, they seem to have gone through just fine. Just taking that burr off. So I now have the holes drilled in here. What I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to fit the screws. I'm going to fit the screws to the Rally Pack, so through these holes. And I think the way they go is I have a bolt and a washer. Then I put it through the Rally Pack. Then I put on a foam washer, push it through the hole, foam washer on the other side, metal washer on the other side of that, and then the lock nut on the far side of that. So I shall speed this up so you don't have to endure watching me do these one by one. I don't know if you can see that, but this is the holes in the bottom. I can just about get the end of the bolt through, but I can't push it through. So the threads gripping onto this tough fabric is enough actually just to stop it. So I'm actually having to screw that in. Right then, that's those 4 on. I'm just going to put a felt washer on each one. I think they're actually foam. There's one. There's the 4th. So now I'm just going to fit that to the plastics. Actually, I think this will be easier if I do them one at a time. That's the first one in. And then the washer goes on top of that. So you can see that it's basically the 2 bits of foam are holding it against the plastic. So hopefully that will be nice and secure and won't put any strain or stress from having the metal directly on the plastic. I mean, I think this plastic is pretty tough, so it probably wouldn't be a problem, but still it's just a nice point, I think, that these are on. Oops. Okay, that's one on. I haven't tightened it yet, so I just want to make sure the rest of these all line up. There's another one in. And another. And the last but by no means least. There we go. Yeah, so all 4 of those seem to be in quite nicely. Just these other 2, and then I'll tighten it all up. Okay, so I've done that just so the bolt is up to the nylon. That already feels quite tight. Okay, so there you have it. So hopefully you can see that on there, that these 4 are all done up. They're up to the nylon. There isn't really anything sticking out, which is quite nice. They've just got all the bolts exactly the right length to fit through. The bag, I'll show you the inside. That is actually stretched pretty tight. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with how that has worked out. And it is very securely fastened. So I'm going to fit the plastics back to the bike now, just to make sure that these don't snag on anything as they go back on. And then I will refit the seat, bolt everything back together, put the panniers back on, and then you can see it in its final form with the Enduristan Rally Pack. I'm now just going to fit these back to the bike. So I don't know if you noticed, but when I took the panniers off the bike, I was actually using these hooks to secure it. And these are great, I think, if there's something that it can attach to. What I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to do something a bit different. To put it back on again, now that I don't have the rack in place, I'm actually just going to use this strap, put that around the same loops, and actually just loop it around the back, around the tail tidy. I know this is bolted on quite securely, and actually I can just feed it through and around the back. So instead of having to hook it onto something, I'm literally just going to put it between the bolts on the underside of the tail tidy. That's now just going to hook through here. And I just think that's a much tidier solution than having the metal clips going around something. It's exactly how the panniers came, so they're designed to be used in this way. I don't think I'm doing anything out of the ordinary with this. I do just need to be careful of how close it gets to the exhaust. I could even actually take it over that peg, but no, I think I'll be fine. I'm actually going to make this end a lot shorter just because the exhaust is here. So I'm going to pull that end through like that, feed it through the webbing, and then just take up all the tension on the far side. that's my video showing how to fit the Enduristan Rally Pack to the Honda CRF300L and also the adjustment of the Enduristan Panniers to use a strap at the back instead of the metal hooks. I hope that's been useful. If it has, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.